Welcome to Time Out with Sports Adda. This is your host Paras here with our cricket expert Rushabh. Very good evening once again, Rushabh. Seems like an early tea session being called. What a good start for India. Looked very positive. Right now, we're stuttering at 120 for three with an economy rate of just above two. Your comments, please.
Still good. I would say good. What when we expected such sort of a score, because the overcast conditions, the wicket, the bowling lineup which New Zealand has. Considering all of that, I think 120 for three is a good score. There were a few unfortunate dismissals, obviously, but currently where we are, currently the current two batsmen which are there, the way they are playing, I think it looks positive.
Looks positive. So right now the batsmen who are batting are the most senior batsmen that we have in our lineup, given the experience and the caliber. These two players are finding it difficult to even rotate the strike, given the line and length has been so particular, and also the shots that has been scored and hit in the gap is maximum fetching 2 runs because of the dew and the wet outfield.
Yeah, that was always going to be a point of concern, But I think the good fact, if I can say so, is the wicket has held itself really well. So, and looking at the Indian batsmen, they never have had a problem to play out maiden overs. I mean, facing 6 balls from a bowler has never been a problem for the Indian batsmen. That's something which is quite easy going for the batsmen which are currently there. Outfield, yes, again, but considering the revolution, if I can say so, from the time Virat Kohli, from the time MS Dhoni has come in, that the fitness levels are high. So running those twos and threes is also. Indians have that sort of caliber in them. They have that fitness levels which is required. So again, that is not a big problem. So I think wet outfield, yes, but good wicket and fitness levels to run those twos and threes, I think looks positive for India.
Right. When you talk about Rohit Sharma, a lot of talk about him, a lot of build-up as to his overseas performances. Yet again, disappoints after being set.
Disappoint as in, yes, I think he himself will be more disappointed than anybody else because the way he lost his wicket. First of all, I think it shows a lot of confidence in himself wherein he took the strike, considering the other partner is an inexperienced guy when it comes to playing at this level. He took the strike. He negotiated Bolt as well as Saudi's overs really well at the start. He was looking very confident. He knew exactly which balls he had to play, which he hadn't. He knew his strong areas. When should he go for the shots? If you look at it, the ones which are bowled full outside the off at the full length area, he was going for the slice or the square cuts, if I can say so, because that's his strong area. He was happy to leave the ball which are just outside the off stump. That's not something we saw Rohit Sharma do quite often, but he was ready to do that. So that shows he was in a good space of mind. He was watching the ball closely. He was playing the ones which are coming in, leaving the ones which are going off the stump line. So I think he was very positive. But a fall shot. I mean, the way he got out, I think it looked like he was very casual in his approach when he went for that shot. It was quite out. He could have left the ball, but it happens. I mean, he would definitely look to capitalize now in the second innings. I mean, that's all we can hope for.
Right. When you talk about Gill as well, one thing that's been persistent with him is the starts. He has been regularly getting starts for India, scoring those 30s up till 40s and then just getting out. Irrespective, he's playing in under spin conditions or overseas. Your comments about Gill here?
To start off with, I felt that there are big 100 or a big 50 coming from him definitely, because the way he started, what was good to see was he was not attacking, but he was positive in his approach. He knew his strong areas. He knew that he's strong off the back foot, so he was not leaving any short opportunity. Any ball which is ball shot, he was going for his pull shots for a boundary. Anything bowled full on the stumps, he was playing his on drive, which is his strength. So he knew exactly which shots to play. The one outside off, he was happy to defend. And what looked promising for me as a fact was that for bowlers like Kyle Jamieson also, he was stepping down the wicket. Not actually stepping, but he was walking down, taking just a step outside his stump just so that he can negate that swing. That really shows how confident he was when he was playing them, considering also the swing and all of these conditions which were currently prevailing. So I felt that there was a big 100 coming from him. But again, he sometimes gets carried away when he gets a few runs, he gets a few drives going, he suddenly goes into a different space of mind where he feels like he should play every ball. And again, that's something which we saw in Australia. I feel, again, that's something which brought about his downfall this time as well. But you've got to credit the bowling lineup. I mean, that was a good ball. If he felt so he had to play for it, he just went. The ball just swung a little bit and took the edge. I mean, unfortunate, but I was expecting big runs from him.
Same here. When we talk about Gale, there's so much expected whenever he's out there to bat. We hope he does well, but given the time and the chances he's going to also get in the future, we hope him to do the best. There are certain cricketers who are just one shot away to get in form. We talk about a Sachin. When he's hitting that on drive, he's looking very good and he's here to stay. We talk about Gale when he hits that pull shot of a ball which is just bowled back of a length. He's here and he's going to do well now. But in spite of looking good, he let his team down yet again. Fishing to a ball bowled outside off stump. Now talking about the anchor man here, we talk about Pujara now. He took around 25 odd balls just to get off the mark, so that he wasn't in a rush. But then, just the way he got out,
He definitely.
let us down, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, you can say so. I was actually expecting good score from him. And when he took 30 balls to get your first runs, you can see that the vintage Pujara, the Pujara who likes to get in the zone,
Yes.
play out balls and get set, was there. He had basically gone into his shell, into his zone. So I expected him to, carry forward. And along with that, the 8-9 runs which he scored, out of that, 2 were boundaries. And both of them were beautiful shots. I mean, one I remember through the covers, it was like a Virat Kohli cover drive, which you would like to look at 100 times
Yeah.
in a day. I mean, you would never get tired. So that was one of the shots he played to get a boundary, and I was like, okay, now we are getting to see Pujara. We want to see odd boundaries coming, playing out those crucial deliveries. But I think maybe he didn't expect that ball to swing. It just swung and got his wicket. I mean, we just can't talk a lot about it. We just can hope he gets into his zone again and delivers in the second innings.
No, true that. In talking about hunting impacts, that's what New Zealand has done. There's 3 wickets that have fallen, been taken by 3 individuals. There's Wagner, there's Bold, and then there's Jameson. They've done very well today, haven't they?
All have bowled really well. I mean, if you look at the first 10 till the 10th over, if you see when the first change was brought in, there was hardly any swing on the wicket which you could see. I mean, anything which you expected on this wicket to happen. So in those situations, India did score runs, but that's the speciality of the Duke ball. For it doesn't swing that much for the first 10-15 deliveries, but after that, once it starts swinging, we are in the 56th over now, and still it's swinging. So that's a varied trait of, I can say so, of the Duke's ball, and that's something which we saw today. So the first 10-15 overs went well. After that, you can say the New Zealand bowlers got their mojo back. They got into the sort of in the rhythm, if I can use the right word for bowlers, which we often use, and they just continued with it. I mean, I remember the first ball which I can say actually swung how much we would expect is of Colin de Grandhomme. I mean, there was a point where he came to bowl in the 13th over where he was getting more swing than the other 3 bowlers who are supposed to be their premier bowling lineup. But I mean, after that, suddenly you could see the first 2 bowlers coming back and getting swing. Jameson, again, he's one of the bowlers who's got the ability to swing it both ways as well as with the bounce. So I think now is the time where the Indians just need to step up. The current partnership and the batsmen to follow, where they should be like, okay, now this is the time to perform and bail the team out of and take them in a comfortable position.
Right. When we talk about stepping up here, Kohli did his best. He stuck around. He's looking very sure of what to do, exactly how he did when he toured England in the previous series, scoring around 650 runs for the tour. Now, talking about Virat Kohli, he's done his job. He's led from the front. He's taken the attack to New Zealand. He's been rotating the strike. But as Pujara got out, there was a bit of a momentum swing there. But looking at Rahane bat, the way he's been middling the ball, he's very, very sure of what is to be done, isn't it?
Yes, he is. I mean, if I can say so, he's the crisis man of India. Whenever team requires runs, Ajinkya Rahane will definitely step up, and that shows the leadership skills which this guy also has. And again, he's a calm personality, someone who complements Virat Kohli really well. They know each other really well. They have been playing for a long time together, so that obviously helps. All these factors come into play when you're building a partnership. So I think that's something which, as an Indian supporter, I'm looking at the positive side of it. And both of them have truckloads of experience with them. So they know how to play out from this situation. I won't say it's an easy situation to bat on. Yes, definitely it's difficult, but these guys have been there, done that kind of situation for them. So it's very easy. They just need to stick in there. They don't need to think about anything else. Just continue doing what they are doing. They're getting those odd boundaries. They're really good running between the wickets. They understand each other really well. So it's just about, waiting for the loose deliveries, scoring off them, respecting the good ones. Basic cricketing term, if I can say so. Just wait,
Yeah.
just hold, look at the ball, take one delivery at a time, and score as much as you can. Don't look at runs, don't look at overs. Just think about playing one delivery at a time.
Right. When we talk about New Zealand here, how much do you think are they wanting to restrict India under the 200 mark or the 250 mark? And what do you think India is wanting to? What is India aiming for? A 350 benchmark or a 400?
See, 350 would definitely be good, but if I can say so, anything about 300 looks a competitive total on this wicket. Considering if you have a look at the wicket, we are from the first session itself, you could see the footmarks, you could see those puff of dust coming up of the wicket, and that's a good sign considering we are playing two spinners and New Zealand has none. So that's
Yeah.
somewhere I look at the positive side of it. That yes, our bowlers will get the opportunity to sort of leverage that current that roughs on the wicket. So I think
Yeah.
anything over 300 is definitely a good total for India. And then with the wicket just drying out a little bit, and if it doesn't rain, and those pop of dust, the cracks opening up, the spinners coming into picture, we might restrict them to somewhere around 200, 250 and take that 50-100 lead in the second innings.
Right. One other aspect about India is wherever they're playing, they seem to be at home, given the crowd and the support that they get. Even today, the crowd that we see in the match, they've literally been gushing and shouting India, India all the way. Whereas there are New Zealand supporters who've just booed India. They're taking the light trichometer and walked or deciding to walk off. There's a tough competition in the crowd as well, which is good seeing the passion for the game.
Yeah, but see, considering India, wherever India plays, I mean, if tomorrow there's a series arranged on Mars, somewhere, somehow, a group of 100 people will at least reach there out of nowhere. I mean, without anything, they would suddenly see a person standing with an Indian flag and
The
10
flag.
people from the opposite side of the ground shouting at them. So that's it is. I mean, wherever India plays, we never have a away series, if I can say so. There are
Yeah.
always more Indians in the stadium than the original home team, which is supposed to play theirs. And even here
Right.
today, I mean, if I can say so, I've hardly seen about 10, 12 New Zealand supporters sitting in one group together in one corner of the
Yeah.
stadium. And everywhere else you look, it has been Indian flags, Indian supporters shouting and rooting for their players. So that's again a positive. It does play on your mind when you have this support, when even your dot ball or a good defense gets cheered or a well left is cheered. It definitely works well as a batsman, if I can say so, especially when you're playing in such situation, in such a big game, a big pressure game. When it gets to your nerves, the cheering from the crowd definitely helps you ease them.
Right. You rightly put this. It's very good information with regards to the support that we have and with regards to the competitiveness. And one other aspect with when we talk about cricket here is Virat Kohli. He got a benchmark set as to if he scores big, the team gets into a secured position. Whereas a Kane Williamson, as of now, is he's 25 overs away from getting a new ball, right? So when we talk about the Kane Williamson, do you think this partnership, if it stitches up till 60, 70, it'll start bothering him?
Yes, definitely. Because when this partnership gets to 60, 70, they ensure that they get it to 150, 160 or 170. That's the
Yeah.
beauty of these players. So definitely that's a worry for Kane Williamson. And in Test cricket, they say that if you have to win a Test match, you have to take 20 wickets. So you can't just win Test matches by bowling negative lines or defensive lines. You have to attack. You have to get those 20 wickets if you have to go on and win a Test match. So getting wickets is definitely the first priority. And this breaking this partnership, because after this, if you look at it, you have players like Rishabh Pant and Jadeja and Ashwin coming in. So this is, you can say, in a way, the strongest pillars after Pujara in this batting order. So if you just break one, you sort of get an inroad straight away. If you get this wicket, you have Pant, you have the others to follow. So you break this one pillar and you get an inroad. You get that crack which you can then open up and sort of barge into the tail and get them all out. So yeah, big wickets to get. But I hope that they carry on the way they have been playing.
Absolutely. When we also talk about the batsmen who are yet to come for India, It's there's a saying in cricket that if a batsman chooses on not to score any runs, it's very difficult for an opposition team to get him out. But when we talk about cricketers who want to hit the boundary from the first ball, those are the 3-4 cricketers who lined up after this if when this partnership breaks. Talking about a Pant and a Ashwin, a Jadeja, they really like to throw the kitchen sink right from the first ball. And we haven't really seen a string of fours or any sixes as of now. But the firepower that's left for India, if they choose to play the way they've been raised, we can also cross 400 runs, can't we?
Yes, see, if this partnership goes on and takes the total above 200, I would definitely like somebody like a Pant and Jadeja coming in and playing aggressively. But if we lose a wicket early, I expect them to play sensibly, because ultimately there's a test match to be won. And if you have to gain the upper hand, you have to look at getting the first innings lead, because that sort of puts the opposition down mentally before they come in to bat the second time. So I'm expecting firepower, but this wicket is not it's not an easy wicket, where you can just suddenly come in and just start going from ball one. You need to take your time. You need to ensure that you are negating the bounce and the swing. You're getting an understanding, you're getting a feel of it, and then go for your runs. And both these players are experienced enough. They have played international cricket at the highest level in different sort of conditions, so they know how to approach this sort of situation. So I'm expecting some firepower. But again, more than that, sensible cricket is what I'm looking at.
Absolutely. And one other aspect for New Zealand which is a bit of a letdown, is Tim Southee's bowling. He's given, runs at an economy of 4 runs per over. But he's been bowling straying onto the pads. The outswingers that are bowling are starting from outside the off stump. Until a batsman is really fishing outside off stump, there's a very difficult chance for him to get him out. Right.
Yeah, as an Indian fan, I'm happy that he's not got his rhythm back. But yeah, I mean, Test cricket is a long period. It's a 5-day game. You have about 100, 200 overs if a team's batting well. So you always have that time to come back. And what Test cricket enables you is there are no restrictions on the number of overs you can bowl. So somebody like Tim Southee, who's capable of bowling these long spells, always has a time to come back. Maybe after his first spell didn't go well. I mean, if you see the first spell, he was not quite as effective as he would have liked. But in the second spell, in a way, he's got his rhythm back. He started to swing the ball. He started to pitch the ball more close to the off stump and then get it away from the right hander. So you can say in Test cricket, you always have that opportunity to make a comeback. And I'm sure, considering the player Tim Southee, is definitely looking at making a comeback and making an impact, because he's an important cog in the wheel. They are best fast bowler, if I can say so. Even if I don't compare him to somebody like Trent Bolt, he's the best. So he has to stand up and take the lead as a leader of the bowling attack. So I'm looking forward to it. But as far as it's not founded, I would say that India should capitalize on this before he finds his mojo back.
Right. It's been a pleasure talking to you, Rushabh. Thanks a lot for these inputs. I hope we get to see some live cricket soon, and even the rest of the days that we get to see some cricket without any hindrance. Thanks a lot for your time, Rushabh. Hope to see you tomorrow in the pre-session.
Yes, hope to see some good runs scored by India without losing any wicket. Maybe 100 or a 200 from Kohli or Rane. That would give us good talking points for tomorrow.
Well and good, nicely put there. Thank you, Rushabh, for your time.
Thank you.